I want to go ahead and say good morning to our participants. We know that it's 10 o'clock. We are going to give folks just another minute or two to come in and join the session, and then we will go ahead and get started. So welcome to our attendees, and we will get started shortly. All right, we can go ahead and get started this morning. We may have some more folks joining us as we get a little bit further past 10 o'clock this morning. My name is Emily Wheeler. I'm the Director of New Student and Family Services, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our student involvement panel today. I want to start off by telling everybody a few of the kind of operational functions of the Zoom meeting that we're in today so that you know how to navigate this space and make sure that your questions get answered. So first, I think it's important to note that for our participants, your audio and your video are muted. So you will only see the presenters or the panelists today in this session. We cannot see you and we cannot hear you. With that, if you have used Zoom before, you might know that the chat function is often used for questions. Today, chat is disabled, but there is a Q&A button at the bottom of the screen. And so if you have questions, if you put those into that Q&A function, what we can do is we can use those to ask our panelists today and get those questions answered. And some of the questions we might be able to answer via text for everybody to see in there as well. So please make sure you are putting your questions in that Q&A box. There will be questions throughout. We will start with some information about the office to talk with you about what they do and the work that they share with your students. And then finally, I want to share that this session is being recorded and we will put that up on our YouTube channel next week, and we will post that to our website next week as well. So if there's any information you want to revisit, or if you want to share this content with anyone, you will be able to access that via our new Student and Family Services website next week. So at this time, I am going to turn it over to Adam Burden, who is our Director of Student Involvement, to talk to you a little bit more about their office.
Great. Thanks, Emily. Well, good morning, everybody. As Emily said, my name is Adam Burden, and I'm the Director of the Student Involvement Office here at UNC Charlotte. Just a quick overview of our office. So, of course, there are many different ways to get involved all across campus. Our office in particular works with all of the student organizations, student governments, the Campus Activities Board, homecoming, so lots of different kind of signature programs that we have ways to get involved. We also help people get involved all across campus. So if there's something that you're interested in and you're not sure where to start, or maybe that's not in our office, we have staff members and student ambassadors that can meet with you and kind of help point you and navigate you in the right direction. I also want to plug our website, which is called Niner Engage, and it's ninerengage.uncc.edu, and that's a great online searchable directory as a way to get started, and some more information as well. So what our session is going to be this morning is we've got three fantastic student leaders joining us today, and so I'm going to have them introduce themselves to you all, answer a few questions about their involvement, and then we will take any questions that folks have in the Q&A function. So if everybody wants to go ahead and unmute yourselves, and let's start off, if you could just introduce yourself and share some of the ways that you're involved on campus. And maybe Talia, let's start with you.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Talia Sampson and I am a junior majoring in political science with a minor in legal studies. I currently serve as the student body president for this upcoming academic year within the SGA organization at UNC Charlotte. I'm also a SAFE mentor, so I mentor 3 to 4 incoming freshmen during their first year at UNC Charlotte and navigating through what it's like to be a college student. So I definitely recommend that program if you want to get some help acclimating to your first year at a university. And lastly, I am a Niner guide, so I give tours once a week to prospective students and their families. I'm just showing them the university and how much I love UNC Charlotte. So that's just a little bit about me and what I do on campus.
Gabby, can you go next?
Hey guys, can you hear me okay, first of all? Okay, perfect. My name is Gabby Hitchcock. I'm a double major in political science and sociology with a minor in legal studies, and I'm a rising junior. Regarding my involvement on campus, I've been a senator for the past 2 years in SGA. I've assumed some leadership as the chair for internal affairs. I've also got the opportunity to be a vice president in Alpha Chi Omega, the co-director for the Greek Village leadership team, class council representative, a graduate of emerging leaders and leadership, and I'm also a student ambassador, so I get to work a lot with like alumni as well.
And Crystal.
Hi everyone, I'm Crystal and I'm a rising senior majoring in health systems management with a double minor of public health and communications. I am currently the president of the campus activities board. And I'm also part of the Health Systems Management Association, and I've also been on the Student Union Advisory Board. Yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Great. So the first question that I want to ask each of you is, what are the benefits of being involved for you? What do you get out of it? Why do you continue to stay being involved? Let's go in the same order.
So I would say I stay involved because I love meeting new people and building new relationships. I like to think that UNC Charlotte is just this place where there's so many different people from different backgrounds. And I just love that no matter where you go on campus and no matter what org you join, because we have over 400 organizations, you're bound to meet someone that you're going to connect with. You're bound to meet someone that's going to help you navigate through the next step and what you want to do in life. So I just love that there's so many different opportunities that you get from being involved.
For me, aside from like the networking social aspect, which is a great aspect of joining and being involved, it's more of like a rewarding thing. A lot of the student involvement, you get to make like a really great impact with your peers and just like on campus in general, get to work with like a lot of great like faculty and staff and do a bunch of things on campus where the energy is like kind of reciprocated. There are just like so many different types of people at Charlotte, and so it's nice to get to like see all these different faces. I'm personally like from a really small hometown, so like it's really nice to kind of get out there and like see there, no matter like where you go, what organization you join, there's always going to be another like niche of people for you that are just like willing to be very inclusive and willing to work with you and give you like opportunities to like lead on campus.
I agree with both what Talia and Gabby said, but also I like being involved because I feel like it's helped shape me as a person throughout my years in college. I feel like I've gained a lot of leadership experience, just a lot of like professional skills. And I feel like I've grown as a person. Like if you asked me like in high school, like, would you be the president of some like large organization on campus? I would have been like, no, because I used to be like so quiet and so shy, but like I feel like I've just evolved as a person, as well as meeting a lot of new people and just being able to like gain a lot of experience and like go into different things. Like leadership is a really awesome opportunity to participate at UNC Charlotte. So like I got to do that through like CAB. So you just get to like be able to participate in a bunch of new things and just meet a lot of people. So it's a really great experience.
Great, thank you. So since we've talked about the what and the why, let's dive into the how. First, how did each of you kind of first get involved on campus? If you can think back to that first experience, kind of what was the initial thing that kind of got you going, and how did you get connected to that?
Yeah, so Before I started my freshman year at UNC Charlotte, I did a summer bridge program here called Utah, which stands for University Transitions Opportunities Program. So it's a 6-week program that students do before they start their freshman year, and you take classes on campus, you meet different people and all the resources that we have here on campus. And during that program, I had 18 mentors that did various organizations at UNC Charlotte. So that's how I found out about Niner Guides. And then once that program ended, I attended the Student Org Showcase, which is where all the student orgs are outside of like our student union, and you can meet them, ask them questions, and get to know them and what their org is all about. And then that's where I saw SGA. And so that's where it went from there. I just met Naya, who was the student body president at the time, and told her that I was interested. And then the rest is history, you would say.
For me, I was actually having my like RA one-on-one meeting, and she was like, "Oh, I think you'd be really great for like this emerging leaders program." And so it's kind of like a program for freshmen to kind of like work together, get acclimated, and like develop like your leadership abilities, networking skills, and just like kind of work with the student involvement office as well. And so that kind of like catalyzed the rest of my like involvement on campus, because from there I started to join SGA, got the opportunity to join Greek Life, and like all the other organizations that I'm in right now as well.
I got involved my freshman year. My roommate, me and her were like really involved in high school. So we went to the student org showcase and went through all the tables that we thought were cool, and just signed up for emails, and they would email us, and we would just go to whichever one was like interested us. And then also at SOAR, when we had the tabling in person, I remember seeing Cab's table, and like they just had all these really cool events, and like I love planning events and things like that. So I was like, this is really cool. And then like when they started having meetings, me and my roommate went, and we just met a lot of really cool people there, and just started volunteering at different events, and it was really fun. So that's how I got involved.
Great, thank you. Now, since a couple of you mentioned the Student Org Showcase, I did want to share that you know, due to the social distancing guidelines that we're in right now, we're probably not going to have it in the same way we've had it before, with thousands of people wandering around the middle of campus, looking at all the different tables of groups. So we're working on a kind of a combination of doing some online videos where people can kind of connect and chat with organizations, as well as doing some more spaced out versions where we might have 10 different tables of groups per day in the union, kind of doing some tabling, and that might last for a period of 2 weeks, for example, to kind of allow people to have the similar type of experience while following kind of the current health guidelines. So the other question I wanted to ask each of you about the how is how do you find out about things now? You know, what ways in which do you follow social media accounts? Is it from your friends? Kind of how do you continue to stay in the loop on new things to do or things that are going on?
So our campus does a great job with advertising events and meetings going on campus. So as you walk across campus, you're going to see flyers, posters, all around about the different meetings that are going on. Our students do a great job with advertising on social media. So if you have an Instagram or Twitter, you can go to those platforms and just type in @UNCC, and then a whole bunch of organizations are going to pop up that you can just follow. Like we mentioned earlier, Niner Engage is a great website to go to, where we have all 400 of our student organizations as well as their contact information. So throughout the summer, if you just want to go on that website and look through all of the different organizations, possibly email the org presidents and just reach out to them and talk to them and get to know what their organization is all about.
Yeah, Talia did a great job explaining that. I think our students do a really great job, like with tabling and organizations. Also, if you're in an organization, chances are everybody else in that organization is probably in several other ones too. So they're always like putting out their pubs, letting you know, as well as that there's like people always tabling outside of the union when you're walking to class and your prospector and everything. So it is also really easy to like go ahead and follow people on Instagram, because there's a lot of opportunities for them to kind of like reach out, or for you to reach out to kind of get to know about more events or things that are going on.
I Like Gabby and Talia touched on most of it, but yeah, like social media, that's where I get like everything in the know. I know student involvement also sends out weekly newsletters. I always read those and they don't spam you. It's like a weekly thing, and they have all the flyers and pubs that like what's going on this week. So that's really cool. Niner Engage is always a great way to look through different orgs and like just search something that you're interested in, and like most likely the club that you're interested in will pop up. Tabling is a really good one in the union and prospector. Tabling is a good way. Flyers, it's everywhere. I know in dorms they have like a bulletin boards, flyers on TVs, there's flyers. So yeah, I would definitely just follow social media if you have social media, or just go up to a table. Everybody's really nice here, so yeah.
Thank you. And I wanted to add in on the social media part. So as part of the Niner Engage website, if you look up a specific group, they can list their social media contacts. But one of the things our office is pulling together right now is a centralized social media directory for all the student groups. And we'll have that on our website probably by August 1st. Where you can just go and look at, you know, all 400 plus groups, and here's what their Instagram account and their Twitter and their Snapchat. And so if you wanted to just look at all the different groups kind of collectively, that'll be listed as part of the Student Orgs website, which is conveniently just studentorgs.uncc.edu. We're also aiming for August 1st to be the kind of timeline which will have all the details finalized about the showcase. So kind of the format and kind of what groups will be tabling on which days. So we're actively communicating with our student groups right now to kind of get those logistical things taken care of. Okay, the next question I wanted to put out there is what is a favorite memory or activity that each of you have so far from your campus involvement?
Mine would definitely be leadership, which all of us have participated in. I think we all did it at the same time too. So it was a really great opportunity to meet so many different people on campus from so many different organizations. It was a lot of great team building and a lot of inner work that we did and trying to become better leaders on our campus. It was a lot of fun, and we stayed in a cabin, did a lot of outside activities. So I really, really enjoyed it and meeting all the different people on campus.
Talia definitely took mine. Leadership was great because like all the people that are there are like sponsored by an organization that they're part of. So I went with like SGA, Crystal went with like CAB. So the facilitators were from like Harvard and like somewhere in Texas. So you just get to split into small groups and you really get to like get close to like 50 different people. But other than that, like SGA has been really great. Like sometimes after like our meetings and stuff, we'll all go to like the dining hall, Crown, and eat after like our general assembly. So it's really cool to just like get closer with people who like have the same interests as you and kind of just like reflect on the meetings and everything.
Leadership is a really great experience. So if you guys ever have the opportunity to do that, I would definitely do that. But my favorite memory probably would be, I don't know, there's a lot. Probably just hanging out in the CAB office. The CAB office is literally like pretty much my second home on campus. And everybody that is a part of CAB is always in the office. So a lot of us just spend time there, and we're always just laughing, having jokes. We had a rap battle one time. It's just really fun. That, and then going to concerts, CAB plans concerts. So being able to meet all the people that performed here is really cool too.
All right. What advice would you give to somebody who's coming to campus about getting involved?
I would say don't be afraid to take your time to figure out what you want to do. Some people come to college already knowing what org they want to be in and what things they want to join, but it's completely okay to just take your time. There's no rush in trying to figure out what best fits you. So if you want to go to different meetings go to different organizations and just find out what makes you feel good. That's completely okay. Like I said, we have over 400 organizations on campus. And if out of that 400 you don't find one that you feel fits you, you can start your own. So it's just completely okay to just take your time, navigate through all the different organizations and find out what suits you.
Yeah, for me, I honestly didn't join a lot of student organizations as my first semester as a freshman. And so I would really say you only get out as much as you put in. Like if you put 100% to these organizations, they're going to reciprocate that right back to you, because it's going to be uncomfortable to go to those first meetings of people like you don't know, but like you have to be kind of uncomfortable to like really get immersed in like the culture of UNCC and like what the organizations and involvement have to offer you, because I promise you it's like definitely worth it. So don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. Bring a friend if you have to, because everyone's like, all I can tell you right now, like all organizations are always looking for new members. So they're like more than willing to like welcome you.
Yeah, my advice is kind of similar to Gabby's, but just like don't be afraid to go to events, even or not events or like meetings or anything, like even if it's by yourself, because like there's chances are there's a lot of other people that are going by themselves, and you're gonna meet a lot of new people. So like she said, like don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Like I know like my first CAD like meeting, I was like nervous because like I didn't really know anybody. So I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like it's so uncomfortable. Like the first couple meetings, like nobody really like you won't like meet anybody real close at first. So I kind of was like, oh, I don't want to do this, but now I'm like really into it and I've met so many people through it. So just like don't be afraid. Like it might be like uncomfortable or it might be a little bit awkward at first, but that's just how it is for anything. I feel like first times. So just stay involved, like stay committed, like it will be worth it at the end, and you'll just meet a lot of new people and gain a lot of new skills.
Thank you. There was a question that came in that I think is a good one to talk about, and the question was about the best ways in which a commuter student can get involved on campus. So thinking about, for those of you that maybe don't live on campus anymore, you know, how that experience is different from when you were living on campus to now, and maybe what recommendations specifically for commuter students you might have to get involved. And any of you can jump in and take that.
Well, I live off campus, and I know for different clubs, they have different times. I know a lot of clubs try to do different days and different times, so like different students can go because I know schedules are different. So I would just find a club that is really flexible. I know CAB does a lot of events during the day, so if you're on campus during the days, you can always like volunteer for events that are during the days. I feel like a lot of clubs are like, they have a lot of different meetings, different events that are at different times. So I feel like it's really helpful. So I don't really have an issue being a commuter student. I know a lot of apartments have buses that can take you on campus. So I would definitely reach out to like apartments if you're living off campus. But yeah, I feel like that's my advice.
Also, to kind of add on to that, if you can, I think it would be useful to kind of schedule your classes like maybe in the morning, because I know a lot of clubs tend to like do things at night because that's when everyone generally is free. But again, like Crystal said, like just finding things that are like flexible and like pertinent to like what you want to do and like how your schedule is working.
I would also add, you know, to really hone up on your Zoom skills. You know, one of the things that we haven't talked about too much specifically is kind of the impact of the coronavirus here on campus. And one of the things that will impact that is the size of meetings and events that can be held right now. So we may not have these large 100-person group meetings or interest meetings. So a lot of those things might be moved to an online format, at least the start of the school year. And so that might allow for some additional flexibility in times that people can pop in and pop out of things, or maybe multiple sessions. So I think actually that is something that could be beneficial to students that aren't on campus, is having that ability to connect with orgs virtually and stay connected that way. Well, if there's any other questions that people want to put in that you may be having, now is a great time to do that in the Q&A function there. And as we're thinking about that, one of the things that, let me just ask each of you too, is what are you most looking forward to coming back to campus in the fall?
I would say it's kind of tricky just because of everything that's going to be going on, but I'm excited to see how our campus gets adjusted to everything. One thing that I am proud of is that our university adapts to things very quickly, no matter what happens, all of the changes. So I'm excited to see how we come together as a community and just navigate through this whole coronavirus situation together. I still feel like all of our organizations are still going to do great things here on our campus. Students are still going to be able to meet each other, have a good time, and yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to.
For me, I feel like just being on campus and like just walking to class and seeing people, I think quarantine and the pandemic in general just kind of reminds us like how much we really love being on campus and like talking to people every day. And one thing that I am super excited for is that right before we were going, the elections for SGA ended, and so like I'm excited to see what we're gonna do in SGA, especially under like Talia's administration, and see like what ways we can kind of adapt to the university and help students out this upcoming semester, because it is gonna look a lot different. Things are definitely like not gonna be the same, but I think that we can like quickly adapt and make it as good as it was like before everything happened too.
Yeah, I'm really excited to just be on campus, like Abby said, because I feel like I've just been inside all the time, and I just love walking on campus because our campus is really pretty. And I'm also very excited just to get involved again. I'm excited to see how events are going to be different and how we're going to have to kind of change things due to like social distancing and stuff like that. But I'm still just really excited to be able to, create some events and participate in those, and just see new, fresh faces on campus.
I think some of you have not been on campus in a while and you're forgetting how hilly it is here. You talk about loving walking around campus, you're going to get some exercise in. It's good.
Aside from the hills and steps, everything is great.
Another question that came through the Q&A is, in terms of, it talks about time management. So, the student shared that they're going to be in engineering, which seems like a heavy academic load. And how do you recommend kind of how do you balance all the different time commitments you have between class and the organizations that you have?
Yeah, so I have a friend who's an engineering major, and he is super involved on campus. So what he does is he has Google Calendar, and so that's where he schedules like all his things, very, very organized. And like Gabby said, scheduling your classes strategically. So whether that's putting all of your classes in the morning, that way your nights are free for night events or night meetings, or vice versa, depending on what organizations you want to join. So I would just look at your classes, your class schedule, and then look up what organizations you want to be a part of, and just try to figure out the timing for each, and then plan accordingly, and how you want to, like, giving yourself enough time to go to class, eat, making sure you're taking care of yourself, and then going to those meetings. You don't want to be overwhelmed with everything. You do want to take time for yourself, so just making sure you're spacing everything out.
In addition to that, I would also say like get like acclimated to being able to like say no. I had a problem with that at the beginning. So like it's definitely cool, looks good on your resume to be a part of like 7 different organizations. But if you're only putting 50% of those like not taking care of your mental health, and like your grades are kind of slipping, like it's definitely more important to put like 110% in like a really good like 2 you're super passionate about, and be able to like kind of make time for like your classes and like time for like socializing, because that's important too, and like your everything in general. So just learning to kind of when to say no, even if it like you really want to do it, because honestly, at the end of the day, like your grades are the most important as well as your mental health.
Yeah, I would also say to like always prioritize school first, of course, and then also don't be like intimidated by like other people that are like so involved. I know sometimes I get intimidated, like, oh my goodness, like why am I not in more clubs? But it's okay if you're just a part of like one or two and put in like your full effort in those, because if you just stretch yourself too thin, like oftentimes you're not putting your best work. Like Gabby was saying. So it's better to just, you know, kind of get used to like maybe joining one club first and see how that goes. And like if that's like okay with you in your schedule, like you can just find more clubs. So I feel like I would just get used to like your classes and like a couple clubs first rather than just joining like 10 clubs all at once.
Great. Thanks, everyone. We've spent a lot of time talking about clubs and organizations. I did want to just kind of put a shout out that there are, of course, other ways to be involved, and kind of really we consider involvement to be anything. So it could be just showing up to events. You might want to get involved if you're going to live on campus with maybe your hall council or being an RA in the future. There are sport clubs, there's intramurals, there's ways to get involved through your classes even. So certainly we place a lot of value in student clubs and organizations, but there really are a whole number of ways to be involved and what we consider involvement. Well, as we're wrapping up, let me give each of you a chance to shout out anything that you want to plug or highlight, whether that be a group that you're in, a social media account. You know, what do you want to share about something that you're in that you hope everybody finds out about?
Yeah, so I definitely shout out SGA since that's like my home as well as Gabby's. So you guys should definitely follow us at UNCC_SGA on our Instagram and our Twitter. So that's where we'll be posting things that we're doing within our organization, legislation that we're passing, and just different things that we have going on. You're more than welcome to get involved come the fall during like our fall elections. We're so excited to just welcome new people. So I definitely recommend doing that.
Since you already kind of covered SGA, Greek life is a great way to get involved. There's several different councils depending on like what you're interested in, but personally the council that I'm in, PHA, registration is open for Rush if you're interested in that. It's available on our like Instagram, websites, so you definitely just like go ahead and search that Greek life UNCC and find that out. Also for student alumni ambassadors, you can follow UNCC_SAA. If you want to get involved, you have to be a sophomore or like older, but you get to work with a lot of professional staff. Like you get to like go to chancellor's events, talk to like alumni and different faculty. So it's really awesome.
And CAB is my home, so Campus Activities Board. So if you guys want to follow them, it's CAB UNC Charlotte on Twitter and Instagram. CAB is great. If you want to join it, you can like plan events on campus, just help out at different events on campus. Or if you just want to attend events, we plan a lot of events on campus, and it's small scale events to like large scale events. I'm not sure, we're probably not doing any large scale events next semester, but definitely come to all of our events. We have like free food, free cab gear, we have a lot of free stuff, and it's fun. So definitely go to any of our events, follow us on Instagram. We always post all of our events. And yeah.
Great. And I'll shout out the Student Involvement Office is on the second floor of the Union. So if you ever want to just come by, we have lots of open space for people to study and hang out. Plus, like I mentioned, if you ever want to chat with some of our staff or some of our student ambassadors about ways to get involved, and you'd rather have a face-to-face chat versus doing some searching online, we're always more than happy to talk with people. So, Emily, let me throw it back to you.
Sure, and I want to say thank you to each of you. You got a shout out in the Q&A box here a moment ago saying thank you for sharing your information, experiences, and suggestions. So thanks to each of you for giving that student perspective and insight. I think it really speaks to the involvement and the leadership of our students. So for our new students who are on this panel in this session and who have been asking questions, We hope you'll see these 3 students as a great connection point as you get started in your journey to campus and are thinking about your own opportunities and experiences. So as I mentioned at the start of this session, we have recorded this and we will post it to our website next week. So New Student and Family Services is the name of our office. It's nsfs.uncc.edu. We will have the YouTube recording of this up on there. If you want to come back to it, share it with any friends or family, you're more than welcome to do so. And I know that Adam is also coordinating another one of these sessions later in the summer as well. So, so another opportunity to offer some questions, answers, and information on student involvement to you all. So thank you again to our panelists. I hope that everybody has a wonderful rest of your day, and go Niners.